making. This shouldn't have happened. What they should have done is X, Y. They should have done some other things. Um, well, I'll mention one name. Sergio Mora really came out strong, saying like they shouldn't have done this fight, right? This fight shouldn't have been done. And I'll just give you my perspective. I'm a I'm a boxing fan and I'm a fan of Tim Tszyu, but I want to see Tim Tszyu in there with the best. I don't want to see him just beat up dudes, like just that are a bunch of nobodies. I want to see him fight champions. I want to see him fight top fighters. And if he wins, he wins. If he loses, he loses. That's the sport. But from a boxing fan, as a boxing fan, I feel like what's hurting the sport is top fighters not fighting each other as often, more than anything. And I think fights like this are actually good for boxing. I think it's good to have a guy like Murtazaliev get an opportunity to have a light shine on him and show the world that, hey, look, I'm here. Nobody thought I could win, but not only did I win, I dominated this fight. Hello, my name is Bakr Murtazaliev. Nice to get we now know who he is, right? Whereas what are these people in the boxing industry advocating for? Are they advocating for fighters to get ducked, or fighters who never get an opportunity to shine? If they're unknown, how do you become the only way you become a somebody is if you fight a somebody, right? So that's how I feel about it. I don't think this fight was bad for boxing. It's just from my perspective.
Listen, you're absolutely right in everything you said. And again, Sergio, if he'd have said this before the fight, saying, oh, Tim Tszyu shouldn't be taken, I'd give that a little bit more credibility. Maybe he has something to base it on. But to come up with these great, this great visionary opinion after the fact, you're closing the barn door after the horses have left, this doesn't hold any weight for me. Now, that said, I said to you at the beginning of the show that you can't turn down a title fight. Okay, in general, you wouldn't, because every champion's going to be tough. So you have to take it. Unless you're a massive ticket seller that you don't need that fight, you've got to take the fight. A case in point, Callum Smith when he fought Beterbiev. I did everything I could to talk about and taking that fight because I knew, a little selfish reason, because I knew it would put me in a position that I'm not going to work. I'm not going to work that night. But also, I don't want my guy having to get in the ring with somebody like Beterbiev, but you get a title shot. It's the only one available. He has to take it. Okay, fair enough. The only thing I will say, and the only people who can make this call, is the people in Tim Tszyu's inner circle. So how did he feel? How was he looking after the Fundora fight? Was he shaky in the gym? Do you need to get the confidence back up? Or was he firing? Everything is good. Because if you're not sure and he took some damage and you don't know what's left of him, you're not sure how much he left in the ring against Fundora. Again, let's face it, the blood is one thing, but it's blood. It's not a generally dangerous situation. It looks awful, but it's like wrestling blood, like it's bleeding. It's hard to see. How much punishment did he take is far, far more important than how much blood was on his face, okay? Because Fundora had a broken nose. He was bleeding as well. Badu Jack against Marcus Brown. I worked the corner. 96 stitches he took from top to bottom. His whole head was split open. That they didn't stop that fight is insane. But it was blood. It was blood. So how much damage did he take is the question. If they felt there was no damage done, if they felt that he's good, if in the gym he was answering those questions and looking good in the gym and he was, on point and working, then there's no reason for him not to take that fight. In fact, it was a little bit of a gift, like I said, that they were able to get him a title fight after losing his last fight, which is almost unheard of. Unless you're an absolutely great and outstanding champion, it rarely happens that you get a title fight after losing your previous fight, unless it's a mandatory rematch, that is, but very rare that happens in another division. Like he lost, I think it was the WBO. He lost the WBO title fight against Fundora and fought for an IBF title in his next fight. So, I think my answer is that unless they knew something bad, if they felt their guy was good to go and on point, there's no reason not to take that fight. You're getting a shot at the title on TV. PBC has done their job as a promoter after you put on a courageous performance against Fundora. Their thank you to you is to get you right back in the ring and get you a title fight. And they did their job.